4 hours after Nerissa told me I would ruin Thanksgiving, my phone would not stop vibrating. Her voice came through every missed call, thin and frantic, begging me to fix the luxury trip she thought I would pay for. But by then, I did not owe her anything. I sat at my small kitchen table, the same one I bought secondhand 20 years ago, and watched the screen heat beneath the constant buzzing. "Mom, what did you do?" Nerissa's voice cracked in the newest voicemail. "The resort says the booking is canceled. They said the person listed on the reservation asked them to shut everything down. Mom, answer me." Another call came in before the message even finished playing. Then another, and another. Her husband's number flashed across the screen next. He never called me directly, not unless something was truly falling apart on their end. I did not pick up. I let it ring until it stopped. The evening light outside my apartment window had turned a dull peach, the kind Savannah gets before the sky swallows the sun. I did not pay much attention to it. My daughter's voice was louder, even in its absence. A new voicemail dropped in. Nerissa again, breathing hard like she had been running. "Mom, please, they are all asking questions. His mother thinks I lied about everything. Just answer the phone." I picked up the device, turned it over in my palm, and held it face down against the table. 71 years of my life. And it had come down to this, my daughter melting down over a trip while pretending I did not exist unless she needed my wallet. I breathed slow, steady, the way the nurses at Memorial Hospital taught me decades ago when I worked double shifts and tried not to think too much. If you want to understand why my daughter went from banning me to begging me, you need to know what happened the moment she told me to stay home. The moment she said I would embarrass her, that part of the story started long before today, and it began with the Thanksgivings I built with my own hands. When did the day that used to bring us close become the day she wanted me invisible after my ex-husband walked out? It was just me and Nerissa. Me and... I was 30 years old, with a toddler on my hip, and a job that barely kept the lights on. I worked long shifts at Memorial Hospital, and every year, no matter how sore my back was or how swollen my feet felt, I made Thanksgiving happen for us. "Are we doing the pie?" Mama Nerissa would ask, eyes bright, standing on a little wooden stool so she could see the counter. "We are," I'd say, rolling dough with hands that still smelled like antiseptic from work. "Your favorite sweet potato pie." She used to brag about it at school. Teachers would tell me, "Your daughter says no one makes pie like her mom." Hearing that pulled something warm and steady through my chest every time. Back then, it felt like we were building something together, a home, a rhythm, a holiday she could count on. As she got older, the tone shifted, not suddenly, more like a slow erosion. "Mom, can we eat at Aunt Saoirse's this year?" she asked when she was 13. "Her place is bigger." "We can," I answered, even though I had already bought the ingredients. At 16, she came home from a friend's house and said, they had real cloth napkins, and the table looked like something out of a magazine. She said it lightly, but it landed heavy. By 20, when she walked through our apartment near Forsyth Park, she kept her coat on like she wasn't planning to stay long. The comments slipped out in pieces. "It's cute, Mom. It's cozy. It's fine." One afternoon, I overheard her talking to a friend outside my door. "Yeah, my mom tries her best. It's just not like other houses." She did not know I was standing there. I swallowed the sting and smiled when she walked in. Even then, I kept cooking every Thanksgiving, kept setting the table, kept believing one day she would walk in and see what I had poured into that holiday. Now I know she never really looked. How far would you bend before you finally hear something inside you crack? When Nerissa married into the Colton family, everything about her shifted. Their world was polished wood floors, framed degrees, and dinner parties in brick homes along Jones Street. I was happy for her at first. Every mother wants to see her child build a life that feels stable. But with the Coltons came a new version of Nerissa, one that watched herself through other people's eyes. "Mom, maybe don't mention working night shifts," she whispered once before we walked into her mother-in-law's house. "It just sounds exhausting." It was. I told her plainly, "I did it for you." She smiled, the tight, polite smile she uses when she wants a conversation to end. The humiliations grew in small pieces. One afternoon, before a family barbecue, she looked me up and down and said, "Can you say you live near the park instead of the apartment name? It just sounds nicer." Another time, as we pulled up to a Colton birthday dinner, she leaned toward me in the passenger seat. "Mom, park a block away. The lighting is weird here, and the sedan will show in photos." "The lighting," I repeated, because pretending helped me swallow things faster. "It's not a big deal," she said, "just for the pictures." Then came the moment that stung sharper than I expected. She called the day before a gathering and said, "Mom, don't bring your sweet potato pie this time." I laughed, thinking she was joking. "That pie is half the reason anyone shows up. It's just not the vibe." She hesitated. "We're going for a cleaner look this year, a cleaner look. No pie. No trace of me, really." I agreed, because that is what I did. I bent until it felt normal, but every small correction scraped a little more off the mother I used to be, and every step she took toward that world on Jones Street felt like a step away from the woman who had raised her. What hurts more, being uninvited or realizing you were only invited when money was involved? The call came the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I was folding laundry when my phone buzzed with Nerissa's name. I answered with the same softness I always used for her. "Hey, sweetheart?" She didn't match it. "Mom, I need to tell you something before Thursday." My stomach tightened. "What's going on?" There was a long exhale, the kind she used when she wanted to ease into something unpleasant. "So, everyone's coming early. His parents, his cousins, the partners from the firm. It's going to be a bigger crowd than we planned." "All right," I said. "Tell me what time you want me there." Silence. A sharp one. "Mom, maybe it's better if you just stay home this year." I sat down slowly. "Stay home? It's not personal." She rushed in. "It's just, Thanksgiving is really important to the Coltons. They care about presentation. And you know your clothes and your car, and everything is a little hard to fit in with what we're doing." I swallowed. "I raised you in those clothes and that car?" "I know," she said, voice flattening. "But this year is different. You'll just ruin the day. Stay home." The words landed like a slap. I didn't speak. I couldn't. She cleared her throat, quick to move on. "Anyway, did you see the email?" "What email?" "The resort one," she said brightly, as if we had not just shattered something between us. "For the New Year's Caribbean trip. They need the deposit today. It's only a few thousand, and they said the sooner the better so we can lock in the oceanfront suite." I blinked, stunned. "You're calling to tell me not to come to Thanksgiving, and then asking about the trip." "Well, you said you wanted to pay for something special for us," she replied. "It's kind of the perfect time. Can you check your bank and just handle it? They're waiting." She didn't even hear herself, or she didn't care. My voice came out quieter than I expected. "Nerissa, I hear you." "Great," she said, relieved. "So you'll take care of it." But she mistook what I meant. And in that moment, something inside me shifted quietly, permanently. How many times can someone take from you before you finally stop giving? After I hung up with Nerissa, I sat at my kitchen table and opened my banking app. My savings account held just enough for emergencies, not oceanfront suites or island cocktails. I had worked decades for that money holiday shifts. Late nights, double rounds of charting when younger nurses went home. It was not meant to fund anyone's fantasy vacation. I scrolled through old transactions, and the pattern stared right back at me. The wedding dress deposit paid by me. The floral arrangements paid by me. The spa weekend she took to decompress before her engagement party, also me. The temporary loans that never circled back. Each one chipped away at something I never admitted out loud. My daughter had grown used to taking. I opened the email she mentioned. The resort confirmation sat bold at the top of my inbox. The subject line read New Year's Caribbean Getaway Confirmation for Ardell Marsh. My name, not hers. I clicked it open, and the itinerary unfolded in front of me, 7 nights. Oceanfront villa, private catamaran excursion, couples massage, champagne on arrival, thousands of dollars, all booked under my name and my phone number, which she had used without asking. A second email from the resort popped up below it, reminding Ms. Marsh that the remaining balance was due by the end of the day. My phone buzzed again. A text from Narissa. Mom, please just pay it. It's easier that way. We'll appreciate it. I stared at her words. Easier. Appreciate. I called the resort. A woman answered. Cheerful and polished. Thank you for calling the Blue Crest Caribbean Resort. How may I help you today? Ms. Marsh. Hearing my own name in her voice made something settle inside me still. Steady. Resolute. I need information on the reservation. I said, Of course. You are the primary guest, so I can release all details to you. Primary guest, not the daughter who had banned me from Thanksgiving. Ma'am, she asked gently, what would you like to do with your booking? I straightened in my chair. I want to make some changes. I told her, and for the first time in years, the change would be for me. What if taking back your life starts with one phone call? I sat alone for a long time after the resort clerk called me the primary guest. Narissa's words replayed in my mind. Sharp as glass. You'll ruin the day, stay home. She had said it so casually, like she was commenting on the weather. And then she asked me for thousands of dollars as if generosity were a bill I was late paying. I pressed my palms flat against the table. I am not a wallet, I whispered, because saying it out loud made it real. My phone buzzed. Another text from Narissa lit the screen. Mom, did you pay the deposit yet? They said they're waiting. This is time sensitive. I exhaled slowly and picked up the phone not to answer her, but to call the resort again. The clerk recognized my voice immediately. Ms. Marsh, how can I assist you today? I cleared my throat. I need to make a change to the reservation, of course. What would you like to do? I hesitated only long enough to let the moment settle. I want to cancel the entire booking, I said. Every part of it. There was a pause. Cancel everything. All 7 nights. The excursions, everything. Yes, I said. No rebooking. No transfer. She clicked around on her keyboard. There will be a small cancellation fee. That's fine. It was more than fine. It felt like air entering a room that had been sealed for too many years. When the confirmation email arrived minutes later, I opened it without flinching. Balance refunded, trip erased. Narissa's expectations, her entitlement gone with a single choice I had put off for too long. I left my apartment soon after. Walked down to Mr. Burley's garage and told him I finally wanted the brake pads changed. Been meaning to for months, he muttered, shaking his head. Good call. Miss Ardell. I stopped at the grocery store next, buying the things I always put back on the shelf. Fresh fruit, a small roast, coffee that did not taste like burnt water. It felt indulgent in a way that should not have felt strange but did. Back home, I fixed the leaky faucet myself with a wrench and a little determination. Water finally stopped its endless tapping. The apartment felt quieter afterward. Not empty, just mine again. What does panic sound like when entitlement finally snaps? The first hour passed quietly. Narissa must have assumed everything was fine. She always did. She lived in a world where problems solved themselves. And when they did not, she called me. In the second hour, the first message arrived. Mom, did the resort send you the final confirmation Ethan needs it for our travel folder? I did not answer. I poured myself a cup of tea instead, letting the steam rise against my face. By the third hour, the tone shifted. His parents want to know what time the boat excursion starts. They said they are excited for the photos. Mom, can you forward me the details? I imagined her smiling in front of them, pretending her life was seamless. She had always been good at that. 15 minutes later, another text came. Mom, why haven't you answered? This is important. The fourth hour began with a call, then another, then another. I let them ring. At some point, the calls merged into a frantic rhythm, each vibration hitting my table like tiny knocks. Finally, a voicemail slipped through. Mom! Nerissa's voice shook, stripped of the perfect tone she used with the Coltons. The resort says the booking is canceled. They said the primary guest asked to close everything out. They said that was you. A muffled voice in the background, her husband. Ethan, did you lie about your mother paying for this? He snapped. Tell them something. Then an older voice, her mother-in-law, Patricia Colton, sharp as a blade. If you two cannot afford a simple trip, just say so. This is embarrassing. Nerissa's breath hitched. She lowered her voice. Mom, answer the phone, please. I do not know what to say to them. My phone lit up again. 27 missed calls in that single hour. 27. The tea cooled in front of me. I did not touch it. I simply sat there, listening to the panic build through each broken message. Another voicemail landed. Mom, I am begging you, just fix it. I know you canceled it. I know you did. Please undo it. They think I lied. Ethan is furious. Mom, please. I turned the phone face down, letting the vibration hum against the wood. For the first time in years, I did not feel guilty. I felt steady, grounded enough to watch everything fall exactly as it needed to, and it was only just beginning. If your child only cries when their comfort disappears, is it really love or convenience? The knocking started just after sunset sharp. Frantic. No rhythm at all. I already knew who it was. No one else knocked like the world was ending. Mom, open the door. Nerissa's voice cracked. Please, I need to talk to you. I stood still for a moment, breathing slowly, then walked over and opened the door halfway. Nerissa stood there in a wrinkled blouse. Mascara streaked down her cheeks, hair falling out of the perfect twist she always wore for her in-laws. Why did you cancel it? She blurted. Why would you do that to me? I met her eyes. You told me to stay home. That is not the same, she shouted. Mom, they think I scammed them. Patricia said I misrepresented our finances. Ethan yelled at me in front of everyone. They all think I lied about the trip. You did lie, I said calmly. You told them I was paying. She shook her head hard. I told them it was handled. You always handle it. You always come through. Mom, I stepped back, letting her inside. She stood in the middle of my small living room, staring around like she had never really seen it before. I need you to fix it, she said, voice trembling. Call the resort and tell them it was a mistake. Tell them you changed your mind. Please, Mom. You did not want me at your table, I said, so you do not get to have my money at yours. Her face crumpled. It is not like that. It is exactly like that. She wiped her cheeks with the back of her hand. I was embarrassed. All right, Patricia judges everything. The food, the clothes, the cars. And I knew she would judge you. And so you judged me first, I said. She swallowed, eyes darting. I did not mean to hurt you. You meant to hide me. The words hung between us, heavy and final. Please, she whispered. Mom, I am begging. Everything is falling apart. Just make one call. I shook my head. No. She stared at me as if she had never heard that word from me before. There is nothing to fix. I said, not this time. For the first time since she was a little girl, Nerissa realized I was not stepping forward to save her. I was stepping back. The fallout from the canceled trip came faster than I expected. By Monday morning, the resort emailed Nerissa to confirm the reservation was fully non-refundable. 7 nights, 2 excursions. The private boat, all gone. Ethan's voice filled one of the voicemails she accidentally sent me. You told everyone your mother was paying. You lied. Nerissa, you lied to all of us. Then Patricia's voice, clipped and cold. This reflects poorly on our family. We expected honesty, at the very least. The next day, Nerissa sent a message that stretched nearly 2 pages. Mom, please, I cannot fix this alone. Talk to me. Explain what happened. I need you. I replied once. There is nothing left to explain. For 3 days, she tried again voice notes. Late-night apologies. Long paragraphs that twisted between blame and regret. I read some, ignored most. The silence between us felt clearer than any argument we had ever had. On Thursday morning, the holiday she had banned me from, I prepared something of my own. I opened my old notebook, the one where I recorded every temporary loan, every wedding expense I covered, every forgotten promise. I typed each amount into a single document. The total matched the price of the canceled trip almost exactly. When the printer finished, I folded the invoice neatly and added a handwritten note. You once told me my presence ruined things, so this time, only my absence will cost you. I mailed it to her house. Then I logged into my accounts and removed her access every card, every auto pay, every emergency contact form she listed me on without asking. By afternoon, I was standing in the community center near the riverfront, scooping greens onto paper plates for seniors who did not have family nearby. They thanked me with warm smiles and soft jokes. No judgment, no conditions. Later that evening, I made myself a small Thanksgiving plate at home. Just a little roast, a spoon of sweet potatoes, and a slice of pie. I ate slowly, listening to the quiet, feeling something in my chest settle at last. I did not hate my daughter. I simply stepped away from the version of love that demanded I disappear to keep her comfortable. As you're watching this, tell me, have you ever had to choose peace over someone you loved? Tap like, leave a comment, or subscribe if you want more stories like this.